Oh, no more from me. Now introducing Laura Lundquist of Zoomer Fitness here with today's CARP webinar.
Hi everybody, I'm so excited to be here, and thank you Bill and to CARP for inviting me to come and do this follow-up session. So hopefully many of you had a chance to spend the time with me a few weeks ago talking about how a walking program can really help optimize your health. And part of what we talked about is the value in doing some strengthening exercises and stretching exercises to make sure that you get the most out of each of those steps in your walking program. So today we get to put theory into practice and actually give it all a try. So that's what we're going to spend the first 25 or 30 minutes of what we're doing here today, is just having a chance to go through some basic movements that can be really helpful for warming your body up maybe even prior to going for a walk or any other physical activity that you enjoy doing. Then we'll go through some strength and balance exercises, and we'll finish up with some stretches that are really relevant to a walking program. And I'm also going to show you, for anybody who uses the Nordic walking poles, I'm going to show you how you might incorporate using those poles into some of those movements as well. So that's the active part of the day. And again, I encourage you to give it a try, even if you don't want to do the whole thing, but just try each of the movements sort of on your own. I think that there's real good value in having a chance to feel how those different exercises and movements feel and understand how they contribute to your walking program and your walking quality, which is so important. And then afterwards, I'll be happy to take any questions relevant to the first session or to anything that I talk about today. And so we'll just open up the floor for those questions once we get through the class. Okay? But to get started, you are going to need, if you've just joined on in the last minute and you didn't hear me at the very beginning, you're going to need to have a chair. You should have a little bit of space, ideally have your shoes on, and maybe have a little bit of water close by, and then the rest should just be your body and me and you. Remember, I don't know you, so if you have any health condition that means any of these movements that we're doing are not appropriate for you or don't feel good to do, then please don't do them. I'm a physio. I like to treat the injuries. I do not like to cause the injuries, okay? So when in doubt, sit it out. And if you have questions at the end about a modification that you might do because one of those exercises didn't feel good, then let me know. That'd be a great question for me to answer at the end. All right? I'm going to start a timer here. Otherwise, I'll keep us here all day. And like I say, we'll do about 25 or 30 minutes of work, and then happy to take your questions after that. Okay, here we go. So get yourself set up. If you do have Nordic poles, you could always grab those and have them close by. I'm going to get us going here. I learned very quickly in teaching exercise classes I needed to have a clock, otherwise I kept people a lot longer than they intended. So if you're ready, come on up. We will start with just a little bit of walking on the spot. All right, so right away, just walking on the spot at the pace that feels right to you, right? We don't have to be heading into a sprint right away. Looking great, awesome. And as you're walking here, right away I want you to think about keeping your chest high, so nice posture through the upper body. Make sure the arms are in on the action, so they're swinging at your sides, sort of bent at a 90-degree angle like this. And the legs are just moving again at the speed that works for you. When we talk about warm up for an exercise, warm up for walking, sometimes I'll just suggest to people that you can just sort of start at a slower pace and then work yourself up into your normal walking program pace, and that might be enough of a warm up. But what I'm going to take you through here now is just a way to gently loosen up all the muscles and make sure that you're really ready for your walk. We're going to do a couple more seconds here, and now we're going to take it to a side step. So I want you to step and tap, right? And you might just start with your hands on your waist, still thinking about keeping your chest nice and high, shoulders down off the ears, no shoulders for earrings. Wonderful, that's it. And then if you like, you might even add squeezing those arms together in the back, starting to wake up those upper back muscles, improve the flexibility through your chest. Just nice and easy. Looks good. Keep that going. Wonderful. Awesome. So we're going to go another 20 seconds here. Now, I'm going to pick up a pole just so that I've got it. Woo! Don't trip on your other pole if it falls. But if you had a pole, you might just pull that back as you go, right? Don't need to have one, but if you had one there, you could use it. Wonderful. Now, we're going to take ourselves to a heel tap forward. I'm going to take that pole behind me if I've got it, and I'm going to tap the heels forward and take the arms back behind. And this is helping to open up the shoulders, especially if we're going to use walking poles. It helps to make sure that those shoulders aren't stiff. And we're just pressing that heel forward as we go. Lovely, looking good. Fantastic, Kayreen. Love it. Excellent, Pat. Good. All right. Now, come on back and face me here. Now, this time we're going to take, this always reminds me of like Fred Astaire. So, toe touch out to the side, and you can just bring your pole just up to shoulder height. Look out for, if you've got the pole, look out for lamps and windows. Otherwise, this free webinar gets really expensive, right? Good. And again, if you don't have the pole, just lift with your arms. Lovely. Very good. Now, that's toe out to the side. Now we're going to take toe back behind. So you'll notice we're just moving through just these gentle movements that help our shoulders and hips get ready for the action of our walk. Keep that going. Wonderful. Another 5 seconds here. Looks good. That's it, Sue. You got it. Wonderful. All right, come on back just to a walk. If you've got your pole, just hold it at the side. You can just hold it in your hand and just let your arms swing just naturally. There we go. Give your brain a little break just for a moment. Good. Hold for another 10 seconds here. So just stepping on the spot. Very good. Now, in 5 seconds, we're going to take 2 side steps to the left. So just holding the pole behind you here. If you've got the pole, we're going to step and step. And just hold your hands down at the sides if you don't have a pole. Wonderful. This sideways action is a really good way to open up and strengthen those hip muscles on the side. Get them ready for action so that they can support our hips and back as we walk. Good. Another 5 seconds. 2 and 1. Fabulous. Pop that pole off to the side safely. Walking on the spot. 2 options here. This is a brief warm up for 5 minutes, but the next one, if you want to do, so you can stay on the spot or take 2 steps forward and then 2 small steps back. Start to warm up your backup muscles just as much as your go forward muscles. You got it. That's it. Wonderful. All right, standing on the spot. Lift your arms up, take a deep breath in, inhale. Exhale. You can keep those legs moving if you like, or you can let them be still. Inhale. Exhale. Good. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Wonderful. All right, shake that out a little bit. Roll those shoulders. Grab a quick drink if you like. And then we're going to start in the chair. We're going to go through 2 different series of exercises here, and we're going to go through them a couple of times each. All right, so the first one, my favorite exercise, is the sit to stand. Okay, so we're going to work coming out of our chair here. Your feet and knees are going to be hip width apart, and we're going to put 2 fists between the knees just to measure that distance, and that'll tell us that we're in the right position here. These muscles are the muscles, the thigh muscles and the buttock muscles that we use a lot when we're walking, especially when we're going up and down hill. So we really want to make sure that those muscles are strong for us when we're walking. So to work on this exercise, ideally cross your hands across your chest. If you need to use your hands for a little push, you can, but if you can, I'd like you to do it with your hands across your chest, and we're going to stand up and sit down for the next 30 seconds. Take breaks if you need to, right? Here we go. Standing up and sit back down. Perfect. So just up and down at the pace that works for you, but keeping an eye on those knees and toes to make sure that everything's staying forward and lined up with each other. Love it. Linda looks great. Irma, fantastic. Good. All right, keep going here. That's it. One more, one more. Good. Sit. Take a breather. Whew. But don't sit for too long. Come on up. Now you're going to come behind your or beside your chair. Okay? So holding onto the side of your chair here. And we're all going to start by standing on the left leg. Often people will ask me, Laura, why do I need to stand on one leg, right? But when we're walking, it really is a one leg stand followed by a one leg stand over and over again. So it's really important that we have good control of that position. So I want you to start by having your hand on your chair. We're going to stand on the left leg to start, but I want you to think about pulling your belly muscles on, squeezing that left glute, and then lifting your right leg, keeping your body in really nice alignment here. That's it. So your knee should be just soft. You should feel it working in the butt cheek of the left side and then the belly muscles. And then if you can, see if you can bring your hands to your hips. And let's hold for another 5, 4, 3, lovely, 2, and 1. Very good. All right, come on down, shake it out. Lucky us, 2 legs. Better do the other side. All right, so set it up, take your time. Right knee is going to be soft. Belly muscles are on. Squeezing those right buttock muscles. Holding here. Once you're settled in, see if you can get your hands on your hips. Shoulders relaxed. And let's hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great. Come on down. Shake it out. We're going to do one more on each side before we move to the next exercise. Standing nice and tall. Strong on the left leg. Knee is soft. Belly is on. Buttock is working. Lift that right leg. Hands on hips. Let's see this time if we can get 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Good work. 5, 4. It's not as easy as it sounds. 2, 1, and down. Awesome. All right, one more to do. Over onto that right leg. Body nice and tall. Belly on. Right buttock engaged. Lift that left foot. Settle in for 10, 9, 8, 7. Good. 6. Make sure you don't feel like your hip is kicked out to the side. Use those bum muscles. 3, 2, 1, and down. Fantastic. All right, next one for the calf. Last session we talked about the importance of pushing off the toe when we're walking to get good speed. So we need strong calf muscles. I want you to stand behind your chair here. I'll show you from the side. Keeping your hands on something for stability. We're going to go up on the toes, keeping the weight over towards the big toe side of the foot. Okay? And then come back down. Wonderful. Let's go again. Heels lift up. Hold for about 3 seconds here. And down. Good. Now as we do that, I want you to think about your body position. Make sure you don't feel like you're arching back. So we lift straight up with good control through those core muscles. Good. And come back down. Wonderful. Let's go again. Up. Hold here. Relax those shoulders. And down. Good. 2 more. Lift and hold. And if it's uncomfortable on your toes to go all the way up, it's okay to just work in the mid-range. You don't have to go all the way. Drop those heels. 1 more. Up. Feel it working in those calf muscles. It should be starting to burn a little bit in there. Drop those heels and relax. Awesome. That is the end of our first set, but we're going to go back and do it again. It'll be a little quicker because you know the moves. So grab a quick drink if you like. Otherwise, come on back to the chair and we'll work from here. Awesome. So you guys are going to work from the chair. Now, if you're at home and you have the Nordic poles, right? So you're going to work from the chair if you like, or if you have the poles and you want to take an option with the poles, you can do the same kind of exercise, but without the chair and using the poles as a little stabilizing surface, okay? When we do that though, the hips have to go back. We don't want the knees to be over the toes, creating knee pain, okay? So let's work together. I'll show the pole option. You use the chair or the poles, your choice. Ready? Steady. Let's go. Up and down using those thigh and buttock muscles. Fantastic. Don't forget to breathe. Also, little known fact, totally okay to smile while exercising. True. Good. There we go. Keep it going here. We've got 15 more seconds to go. Should be starting to feel a little work in the legs now. In those thigh and buttock muscles. Should not be painful in the knees. Good. Wonderful. Okay, come on up. Now, we are going back to our one-leg stand. If you have the poles and you want a little stabilizing point, you could use that, or you can go no pole, okay, or no chair. So your choice. I'm going to set up first standing on my left leg. So standing strong on the left leg, knee is soft. Lift that right foot. Once I'm there, if I've got my pole, maybe I lift it up and hold. Woo! Good. That's it. Keep holding for another 5, 4, count it with me, 3, 2, 1, and down. Perfect. Switch over onto the other side now, onto the right side. Body tall, belly on, right knee soft. Okay, once you're in position, get that left leg up. If you've got the pole down, and you can, lift it up just a little. I mean, you could get really fancy and like do something whoa like that, although it's more challenging. Your choice, player's choice. 3, 2, 1, and down. Awesome. Very good. We're going to go back to that first side onto the left leg now. Set it up fairly quickly. Belly is on, knee is soft, glutes engaged. Once you're ready, bring it on. Good. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Awesome. One more on the other side now. So we'll set it up over here. Once you get into position, don't worry about when you're doing a balance exercise. If you lose your balance a little bit, just put your toe down, recheck, and set again. Let's go for another 3, 2, 1. I always like to, come on down. I always like to encourage people to do that rather than using their hand, as long as you can safely do it. Because when we're out walking around, we don't always have something to grab onto to steady ourselves, but we should always have our other foot available to catch ourselves if we're losing our balance. So practicing that is actually a really good strategy for fall prevention, which is equally important when we're out walking. We're going to come now to that heel up exercise. So for that one, again, you can use any stabilizing surface, or if you were doing these exercises out in a park or something and you had your poles, you can use those. So I'll use these for this part. Here we go. Ready? Up onto the toes again, keeping the weight to the big toe side of the foot, and back down so you don't feel like your ankles are rolling out. Come on up. Hold here. And down. Wonderful. Keep it going. Up. And down. Up and down. We're going to do 5 more. I'll turn this way to face you. Up and down. Up. Woo. Helpful to have that stabilizing point when we're doing this exercise. Come on down. 3 more. Up and down. It's very common, 2 more, for the ankles to want to go out to the side like this. So we want to try to control that. Keep the weight on the big toe side. Good. Come down. 1 more. Lift and hold. Good. Come on down. Wonderful. So that is the end of our second set of the first series of exercises. Grab a quick drink if you like. Then we're going to head into our second set of exercises, or series of exercises. Pop these down out of the way for now. Make sure if you put yours on the floor, don't trip on them. Again, no falling during a virtual fitness class, totally against the rules. Smiling is within the rules. Falling, outside the rules, okay? So, next exercise. This one is going to be, you can either use the back of your chair, depending on the surface and your body, or if you've got a wall close by or a countertop, you might choose to do that. We're going to do a plank exercise, which is really good for our core muscles, for stabilizing our back and pelvis when we're walking, to limit the likelihood of developing lower back pain. So if you're using a chair or a counter, you're just going to put your hands on that flat surface, step your legs back into this position, and hold your body like a plank, right? Just on a straight angle from the shoulders to the hips to the toes. If you're more comfortable taking yourself up onto a wall, you can do the same thing, but just with your wrists at shoulder height, and then step your legs back till you feel a little work in the belly. So let's try that position again. So come on out here, or stay there if you're still there. And we're gonna hold here. You should be feeling some work in those core muscles in the belly. Hold here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come on up. Wonderful. Now, depending on which option you just took, if you were thinking, Laura, that's a bit too much, then you might want to be up against the wall. If you were thinking, Laura, give me a challenge, right? Then the next time you go to do this, maybe you use the seat of a chair and you bring your arms down. You could be on your hands if that was okay with your wrists, or you could be down on your forearms and come into this position. Quite a bit more challenge in this position, but a totally healthy option. So you take whichever option you like. I'll stay here for at least 10 seconds. See if you can get yourself lined up there. Wonderful. Think about having your knees straight, belly muscles on. There should not be any pain or pressure in your low back. So if there is, lift your hips a little bit, re-engage your belly muscles, or take a different option. Let's hold for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. All right, come on up. I think that's enough plank for round 1. What do you think? Yeah? Yeah. All right. On to the next. We're going to take it into our second balance pose. So in the first round, we did our one leg stand. In this round, we're going to do tandem stance, which is one foot in front of the other, okay? So holding on to something just as a stabilizing point to get set into position. Let's all stand on the left leg, and I want you to bring your right foot in front as though you're on a tightrope, right? Or a balance beam. So directly in front of one another, ideally with your heel touching your toe if you can. If that's not comfortable for some reason, you can offset, no problem with that. It's going to be a little bit more of a stable position, but if that feels better to you, then that's the better option. So we're going to come into this position, holding here. Now, if that feels like enough challenge, stay there. If you want to add a little bit of challenge safely, either close your eyes or turn your head a little bit side to side and feel how that changes the ease with which you hold that position. Wonderful. Very good. Excellent. Okay, come on down. Step that out. Now let's go same thing, but other side. So standing strong on the right leg, take that left foot and step it forward. Make sure both knees are just soft here. Body is nice and tall. Belly is on. Hold here if this feels like a good challenge. If you want to add a little bit more, try a gentle head turn or closing your eyes. Do not close your eyes and turn your head. It's too much. Too much of a good thing. Wonderful. Good. So when we're out walking, we're not normally walking on a tightrope. However, good, step out of that. However, we do often need to adjust our position because there's a pothole or a person comes in front of, or a dog runs in front of you or something. And so it's important to be able to have that agility and balance to be on a small base of support without losing our stepping or our footing. All right, let's try one more each way. 5-second hold. So hands on hips. Take that left foot forward. Ready? Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See if you can step the other foot forward right away into tandem stance and hold there for 5, 4. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. All right, shake that out. One more exercise to do here. Now, I want you to hold your chair in front of you. I'm going to hold the bar behind me just so that you can see me. So in this position, we're going to stand on the left leg and we're going to work a side leg lift out to the side here, just like this. So we'll take that right leg out to the side and back in. Out to the side and back in. So this we should feel working in the side hip muscles. Gluteus medius is one of the big muscles we're working in this exercise. And that muscle helps to stabilize and hold the hip underneath our body so that we don't get hip or back pain or knee pain when we're walking. So really important to help with good alignment when we're walking and protect our joints. Wonderful. Let's do one more. And then we're going to switch sides. So standing strong on the right leg, let's take the left leg out to the side and back in. Good. Keep going just like that. Wonderful. Double check that your leg is going just ever so slightly backward as it goes, and it's not drifting forward. We tend to be strong at the front of our hips, not so strong on the side and back of the hips. Great. Good. One more here. Let's do one more. And down. Awesome. All right, shake that out. Take a quick drink if you like. Then we're going to go back through that routine one more time. So we started with our planks. You can choose the option there that works for you. No real way to incorporate your poles into the planks. So I would say those just stay to the side, but then I'll show you how you might use them for a support for the other two exercises as we go through. So coming into our plank position, again, you could use the seat of your chair if you like. Use the back of the chair, use the wall, countertop, nice stable surface. Step your body back here. Belly muscles on, thighs are tight. Should be feeling it work in those core muscles. Good. Hold for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Come on up. Shake that out. Good. And we're going to do one more. Ready? Here we go. Round 2 always moves faster. Let's go. Hop in. Belly muscles on. Thighs are tight. No pain or pressure in the back here. We'll hold for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. All right, come on up. Next one was our balance pose in that tandem stance position, one foot in front of the other. Again, if you have your poles, you might choose to just have those to the sides, right? If you were doing this out and about, if you're doing it at home, you can always use a counter or a chair. But let's get one foot in front of the other. Let's take the right foot forward if you can. Once you're in position here, lift the poles from the ground if you can. And then again, if you want, you could do some movements with those arms. That's another way, with or without the poles, to challenge your body to maintain that position. Excellent. Good. Come on down. Actually, try that step forward. See if you can just step right into the other side. That's it. And then go again. And if you're doing the arms, see how it feels now if you do one arm and then the other instead of doing 2 at once, because that actually is harder from a balance perspective, isn't it? Good. Lovely. All right, come on down. Shake that out a little bit. And we're going to move right into the leg lifts to the outside. So again, you can use your hands on a chair in front of you, or if you've got the poles, you can just use those as a stabilizing point, just gently placed in front of you. Let's stand on the left leg and take that right leg out to the side. Great. Looks good. Right on. One more here on this right side. So taking the leg out to the side. Great. Come on down. Now let's stand on the right leg and let's take the left leg out to the side. So take it out and back in. Good. And just use the poles in front just as a stabilizing surface, but they're not nearly as stable as a chair. So it'll make the exercise a little bit harder because you have to work a little harder to hold yourself in a neutral or stable position. Excellent. We'll do 2 more here, just small movements. Shouldn't feel any pain or pressure in the back. Last one. Fantastic. Okay, if you've got the poles, pop them off to the side safely. Join me for about a minute here of stepping on the spot. You've made it through 2 rounds of walking specific strengthening and balance work. Now we're going to do a little cool down here just to move that blood through all those muscles, pump it through. That helps clean the muscles out, helps make sure that we're not sore tomorrow after doing a new set of exercises. And then I'm going to take you through my favorite walking stretches. Okay, there are lots of different stretches out there that can be helpful after walking, but what we'll go through today are some of my favorites. And again, what's appropriate for you will depend a little bit on your joint health, any history of surgeries, but there are definitely a few stretches that can be really helpful to relieving the tension that develops in the muscles when we walk. When we walk for 10 minutes, we take about 1,000 steps. So if you're out for a 30-minute walk and you take 3,000 steps, that's 1,500 repetitions of the same movement on each side. It's a very healthy movement, but it does tend to generate some tension in the muscles. So it's good to stretch them out. So let's start with the hip flexor, okay? So for this one, again, you're going to come behind your chair, or again, if you had your poles, you could always just use your poles as a stabilizing surface in front. Okay, so using a chair or the poles, we're going to step the right leg back. Let's all use the right leg going back. And then I want you to lift the right heel, keeping your shoulders and hips pointed straight ahead. So you should feel a gentle stretch in the front hip pocket zone of the right leg. Everybody feeling that? Just give me a nod if you're feeling that, or a thumbs up. Yeah? Good? Good. Excellent. Wonderful. Okay, so holding there, and a good stretch, generally we would suggest holding for maybe 20 or 30 seconds. All right, let's step that leg forward, and let's take the left leg back. Holding here, now you're going to lift that left heel, and again, shoulders and hips are going to be square, pointed to the wall in front of you. And again, you should be feeling this stretch in the left front hip pocket area. No pain or pressure in the back. If you are feeling it in the back, allow your body to tip forward just a little so that you're not getting pressure down in the small of the back. Super. Good. All right, come on up. Let's try one more on each side. So take that right leg back, lift the right heel, settle in, make sure those shoulders are relaxed away from the ears. Great. Let's take a good 2 breaths here. So inhale, exhale. Maybe as you exhale, you sink just a little deeper into the stretch. Maybe, maybe not. One more. Inhale, exhale. Super. Bring that right foot forward. Let's take the left leg back, lift the left heel. Right knee should be bent in the front, left leg is straight in the back. Shoulders relaxed away from the ears. You don't want to feel like you're hiked up like this. That's it. Good. Let's take one more good breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Awesome. So that is for the hip flexor at the front of the hip. Now we're going to go for the hamstring at the back of the leg. Now this one we can do in standing, but for today I'm going to suggest that we try it all in sitting. So you're going to sit on the side of your, or on the edge of your chair, middle to front of your chair, not so far, of course, that the chair would tip. And then in this position, I'm going to keep my left knee bent, but I'm going to straighten the right leg out. Okay, so my right knee is straight and my foot is just sort of relaxed. It doesn't need to be pulled way up, but it's also not pointing down towards the ground. But my knee is straight, and then my body is going to sit really tall. Okay, so nice and upright, and then I'm going to tip from the hip. So I'm not rounding my back. I'm going to tip forward, and almost immediately, most of us will feel it in the hamstring, in the back of the thigh, and that's where we hold. You might use your hands on your other leg to support your body weight a little bit. Try to relax the shoulders, feel the stretch behind the thigh. This is the anti-sitting stretch, along with the hip flexor one we just did. Both of those muscles tend to get tight if we're sitting. Take a good breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Great. Come on up. Switch sides now. So right knee is bent, left knee is straight. Body is nice and tall. Belly muscles just gently pulled on, so we're protecting the back. And then we're going to tip from the hip. Woo! I am always tighter on my left side. Hold there. Enjoy it. Breathe into it. Stretching should not be painful, right? It's okay to feel stretchy and tight, but you should not have sharp shooting, tearing, stabbing, throbbing. All of those things mean you are pushing too far into the movement. Back up. Good. All right, come on back up. Step that out. We're going to do one more on each side here. So take that right leg forward. Body tall, tip from the hip. Excellent. Looks really good out there. And let's switch sides. Come on up. Nice and tall again. We want to make sure we're not slouching through the lower back. Left knee is straight here. Tip from the hip. Hold there. Again, maybe supporting yourself on the other side. And breathe. It's also an ideal time to add another smile in, just saying. I find at this particular moment. Good. And come on up. Excellent. All right, come on back up to standing. That was enough sitting. We like to limit our sitting, right? Come behind your chair again. Now, we're going to go into a very similar position. Remember we did the calf raises to strengthen the calf muscles. I talked about those muscles being important for propulsion when we're walking. So we also want to stretch those muscles. And it looks very similar to the hip flexor stretch, but it's a little bit different. So 2 hands on the chair. Let's keep the left leg forward. Step your right leg back. And I want you to make sure that your heel stays down now in that back leg. So both feet should be flat on the floor. My right knee is straight in the back with my heel down, and I feel it stretching a whole lot right in here, right? Just give me a nod if you're feeling that, or a thumbs up. Yes, yes, yes. Good. Okay, wonderful. So hold there. Again, we would be here traditionally 20 or 30 seconds, and we might do 2 or 3 of them on each side, right? Because that's what really allows us to get good length in that muscle and help it be relaxed and lengthened for when we go for our walk the next time. Let's bring that leg forward. Take the left leg back. Again, shoulders and hips or pelvis are pointed straight ahead of us. Both toes in the back. So check down at your toes. In this one, oftentimes the back foot likes to sneak out and point to the outside. Make sure it's pointing straight ahead so that you get a full stretch in that calf muscle. And again, if you're feeling any pain or pressure in the back here, let your body come forward a little so that you don't have that discomfort. Great. Okay, bring that left foot forward. Let's go 1 more on each side. Take the right leg back. This also is one of my favorites. This feels good. So both feet are flat. Check in that both sets of toes are pointed straight ahead along with your shoulders and hips or pelvis. I always prefer when people are stretching that they hold something for balance, because if you're doing this, I can hold this position without stabilizing myself on something, but I have to be managing my balance, which means the muscle is actually going to be working a little bit, and I'm not going to get as effective a stretch. So I always recommend holding something when you're stretching. I'm all for balance work, just not while you're trying to get a good stretch. Let's try the other side. And again, just like with the hip flexor, if you were out and about somewhere and you had poles but you didn't have a surface, you could always use your poles as that stabilizing surface. I would still probably prefer a bench or a wall or something, to be honest, but these would be better than not using anything for that purpose. Excellent. Good. Come on back up. Now, one last stretch I'm going to demonstrate, but I don't want you to try it unless it's a stretch that you have done regularly on your own at home and recently, but it's a stretch for the thigh muscle. So this muscle get tight, especially, woo, there's my timer, especially when we're going for a walk and using those muscles, especially if we're going up and down hills. But the stretch that we would do traditionally would look like this, right? So we would pull the heel up towards the bum and hold the ankle like this, but that is a very compressed position for the knee. Now, for some of you that might be totally fine, but if you have a history of any knee injury or you have knee osteoarthritis, then that may not be a position that actually works well for you. You can do that same stretch with a strap, like a yoga strap or a towel, or you can also use the seat of a chair, and then the knee doesn't have to be nearly as bent, right? So this is a good stretch to try on your own. And if you want to try this one now, if you see an option there that works for you, go for it. But again, I want you to be cautious with it, to not feel any pinching or pressure in the knee itself. Our goal is to feel the stretch through the thigh muscle, not any pain or pressure in the knee itself. Once you've had a chance to try that on one side, shake it out, try it on the other. And if holding in that position doesn't seem comfortable for you, sometimes I'll also just ask people to do an active stretch where they just bend their heel up towards their bum and not trying to hold it, but just up and down like this, and we get a little, turns on the hamstring muscle a bit in the back, and it stretches the thigh muscle a little more gently, but it's again a little more gentle on the knee joint, right? So all different options, but 4 great stretches for after a walking program would include targeting the hip flexors, the thigh muscles in the front and the back, as well as the calf muscles. Let's take 3 good breaths to seal this workout in, and then I will be happy to take any questions that you have. Ready? Inhale. Take those arms way up. Exhale. Release it out. Good. And again, inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Awesome. Thank you everybody so much for joining me and participating along. It was great to do that bit of work with you today. I hope you enjoyed it, learned something valuable, feeling a little more limber, a little more ready for your walk later today perhaps, or maybe stretched out from your walk earlier today, right? I will say I'm going to turn the music off so that you can hear me clearly and I can hear you clearly, and then I'll be happy to take any questions that have come to you, Bill.
Thanks, Laura. That was wonderful. I'm hardly out of breath here watching you do it. Sitting in my chair, of course, so I can manage everything else. You're getting lots of thank yous, but there is one question: what to do if knees feel strained in the chair sit stand?
Great question. So sometimes that can be a technique issue. And so making sure that we're thinking about getting the thigh muscles and the buttock muscles both working, and that we've got the knees. Remember, I talked about that sort of 2 fists apart between the knees. That can be a key thing. But the other thing is the height of your chair can matter, right? So the lower the seat of the chair is, the harder the exercise is going to be. So if you're in good position and it still feels like a little bit too much strain in the knees, if you put a pillow or a cushion on the seat of your chair so that your hips are a little bit higher as you start the movement, often that will take the strain off the knees, allow you to build some strength, and maybe over time you'll be able to take the pillow or the cushion out.
Good. More thank yous. And Gord says, thanks so much. I learned some new moves, so now I'm out for my walk. So that's
awesome.
Great too. Anybody else with any questions? If you can't put it in the chat, want to do it orally, just put your hand up and I will unmute you. And I can see if anybody, no, it looks like we have no more. You must have done a tremendous job explaining because nobody has any questions. That's great. Well, this is being recorded, and as soon as the recording's over, we'll do our best to quickly render and edit it and get it out to everyone. As I said, if you're registered for this event, sorry for fumbling over my tongue, if you're registered for this event, you'll also get a link to the October event. We will have more webinars coming up in the next few months. So please, if you're not a CARP member, join CARP and you will be able to access the information on upcoming metaphors. You can also get in touch with Laura at Zoomers Fitness, and maybe you'd like to talk a little bit about that, Laura.
Sure. Yeah. So just a little bit more about us here. So our clinic in Halifax is called Zoomers Physiotherapy and Health Solutions. And our focus is empowering and motivating older adults to live to their full potential. And, you know, we really do that by more traditional physiotherapy services, but also focusing on helping people build strength, balance, and mobility. And because of that, we developed this Club Z Fitness program that comes to you very similar to the way this program did today. And we have a variety of classes that are all taught by physiotherapists that focus on, again, creating balance, strength, and mobility for people to help you stay out there and continuing to enjoy the activities you love. The words we live by are behind my head here, the live the life you love. And we know that in order to do that, physical capacity and physical ability is really important. And we totally have the power to control that to a great extent ourselves. But it does take a little bit of work, and we're here to help people get that work done so they can keep being out there and doing what they love to do. So if you have more interest in that, it's called the Club Z Fitness Program, and you can Google it. You should find us that way. We're not Club Z Tutoring, though. We are Club Z Fitness, which is also club-z.ca. And in the email, there will be an offer there if you choose to join Club Z before the end of the year. We've got a special offer for CARP members, so keep your eyes on your inbox for that. And if you have any other questions about the program itself, there is an option on the website to book a free consult with me, and it's just a half-hour chat to talk about what you're looking for in a fitness program, what our program offers, and see if we're a good match for each other. So feel free to make use of that as well.
Great. One question before, or I guess we've got two now. People are thinking, what if you have diabetic neuropathy?
Yeah, so diabetic neuropathy means that it's difficult to feel sensation in your foot, right? Well, it could be anywhere, but oftentimes in the feet and in the legs. So there's no reason that these exercises would be unsafe in that scenario, but it is important to make sure that you have good footwear and that you're setting yourself up with maybe some extra tools around from a stability perspective, because sometimes when we don't have great sensation in the legs, it can be a little harder to maintain our balance. So we might need to take options that are a little less challenging, at least initially, until we figure out how to control our body position without having that sort of normal sensory input. And I did see a comment come through there, which is a great point by Maggie, which was that it's a good idea to have your chair pushed up against a stable surface when you're doing that sit to stand exercise. As a risk manager, I fully support that as a suggestion. So if you are doing that exercise, no rolly chairs, and the stable chair should ideally be pushed up against a wall or something so it doesn't slide on you.
Well, that's been great, Laura. I think the final comment is a good one for us to go out on. One of our viewers today is in France, where it's 8 o'clock at night, and they say they're going for a glass of wine. I think that sounds like a wonderful idea. We should do that. And once again, question, does Club Z offer online courses?
Yes, yeah, so Club Z, we offer it in a hybrid format. So we have a few people who are local here who come in into the studio, but the vast majority of our members participate from home. So all of our classes are available from your living room.
Very good. Well, once again, thank you very much, Laura. Folks, if you have any questions, please send Laura an email in the link that we'll be sending to you, or send them directly to me at vangorder@carp.ca, and I'll be happy to pass them on to Laura. Thank you all very much for being with us today from around the world, literally. I know we had our young lady back from New Zealand again today, so certainly is worldwide, and look forward to in the new year having more fitness with Laura Lundquist from Zoomer Fitness. And as she says, live the life you love, and the best way to keep on going is to keep on going.